Hey everybody, what's going on? KSA Kris here with the Real Estate Blitz. Today I want to talk a little bit about lead capture systems. One in particular is going to be CINC, better known as Commissions Inc. I've had a lot of people reach out to us. They know we use Commissions Inc. and just asking us what we think, our experience, etc. So I figured I'd do a video about it real quick just because we get so many questions. So I want to back up a little bit. We started with Boomtown. I could back up even further. So on Carrot is something that we used in our investor business years ago before it was cool to kind of do that stuff. And that's what positioned us when we started building the retail business to really explore a potential website that has a lead capture system, CRM, built into it. Can you build your own websites? Absolutely. Are there other systems out there that have, where you could build in a CRM? Absolutely. There's a ton of different ways that you could do things. So why we did it, what we were looking for, and I think that's probably what's most important. My biggest concern, and there's a few people on the team, we all worked together years ago in the Marine Corps before we ever started building this, and whenever I look at a collaborative tool, and I think that's the big one, a collaborative tool, whether it's to wage war or which run a business, which is the same as waging war in a lot of regards, right? We're looking for a collaborative tool, and I think the more complicated it gets, the more pieces that are involved, the less somebody will use it. So we've always tried to simplify what systems. So example, back in the day we used to use a system called Podio. Podio's fantastic. If you don't know what Podio is, look it up. I don't want to spend too much time explaining it. But we used Podio, and one of the guys on our team, Chet, loved Podio. The challenge was Chet would spend most of his day putting stuff into Podio, organizing Podio, adjusting Podio, and then he ate up all of his day doing Podio stuff using this system as opposed to actually generating any deals. And I think, what I try to focus on is 95% of our energy should be focused on generating income or doing something that will potentially generate income. If we're spending a majority of our time working systems, like typing in stuff, adding stuff, adjusting stuff, organizing stuff, if I'm spending 95% of my time on doing that and 5% of my time generating income, we're in trouble. And that's what I found with complicated systems. That's what I found with having multiple systems that I have to go into, manage, or adjust on a daily basis. It just eats up too much time. So we were looking for an all-in-one inclusive solution. The first one that we started off with in the retail business, people ask me, what do you mean by retail business? Okay, look. We have a business, Kim Steele & Associates, that helps people buy and sell homes. That is retail. That is basically if I listed my house and sold it for a retail price, what would it be worth? That's a retail business. It's not an investments business. Very different. So the first one we used was Boomtown. Boomtown, it was good. It was, I don't have too many complaints. I have some complaints, but it was pretty good. Boomtown gave us the structure and it gave us the initial experience. So Boomtown gave us a website, it gave us a CRM, it gave us pay-per-click advertising, and it gave us the ability to tie in IDX feeds. And we're in the CRMLS, which is up north. We're also in Sandacor, which is in San Diego. So it's different MLSs. And if you keep hearing that binging, that's my Facebook page. It's just going nuts right now. So Boomtown was good. Boomtown had limits. It was very limited in a lot of regards. We couldn't use video. We couldn't write blogs. We couldn't adjust the page. We couldn't make it look or feel the way we wanted to make it look. It had to look or feel the way they want to look. They wanted a year contract. It was freaking crazy expensive. And to me, it didn't really justify the cost. The back end, though, the CRM was pretty fantastic. There were a lot of great things on the CRM. The way it filtered people wasn't all that good. So when we started looking for another solution, it's like, okay, Boomtown just isn't what we're doing. Let's build our own. So we did. We actually sat down and built our own, and we built a website. We were trying to build all this other stuff, but this is what we kept running into. We used a few different people to help us design this. Most of the designers that we ran into, they built websites before, but they didn't know anything about real estate. And here I was, Chris, trying to convey and express, this is what we need, this is what we want, from my perspective, not being a web designer. So now I have a web designer that's a non-real estate savvy individual, and a real estate savvy individual that's not a web designer trying to collaborate to create something. In the process, that started becoming extremely complicated and started becoming extremely expensive as well. And then of course if you haven't experienced it yet, there's always the pitch at the end. So I'll build this and it's going to seem like a really great price, but if you want me to manage it, then it's going to cost you a buttload of money. So now we're right back on the money train. Because I don't know they aren't going to make it convenient for you to upload your own stuff. Could you develop and design it yourself? So this is a good question. Well, Chris, I could just develop my own website. And here's the thing, you could. There are a lot of really smart people. WordPress is relatively easy to figure out and you could do it yourself. I have a different view. My view on that entire situation is just because I've seen it, I've had this experience. Somebody's going to sit down, they're going to spend 95% of their energy on creating a website and creating all this stuff, and next thing you know, they're spending 5% of their energy on trying to actually generate an income. And that's what I was getting at earlier. So yes, you could build your own, but then you're trying to develop your own CRM, develop all this, and next thing you know, you're like, well, I don't know why I'm not getting any deals. Because you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be a real estate person. You're supposed to be helping people buy and sell their homes, but instead you decided that you wanted to become a professional web developer. Just hire somebody, right? So that's what brought us to, after just pain, absolute pain trying to develop our own. And here's the thing, we could have left it very basic and had a very basic functional website. We could have. That's not what we were looking for. That's when we found Commissions Inc. Commissions Inc. is something that we had heard through a few friends. I heard it on a couple podcasts. I started exploring it and ended up pulling the trigger after, I just couldn't see the downfalls. So now you're talking about I get to pay month to month. You're talking about I get to a la carte kind of my level of involvement. So I can have a basic website. I can have a really in-depth website. I can do pay-per-click. I can do Facebook advertising. I can do pretty much whatever I want. And it gives you a nice CRM that's functional on the back. I can add in all my agents. I can add in my lenders. I can bring in affiliates to pay some of the costs, or all of the, well, not all the costs, but a majority of the costs. And it gave a ton of flexibility. We can drop blogs. We can do video blogs. We can do written blogs. We can tie all this stuff into social media. So I take a lot of stuff off there. I drop it on Facebook. I drop it on Instagram. I can drop this stuff just about anywhere. And it's become extremely profitable for us. It's very intuitive, and there's so many other great things that are involved and lined up with that as well. One of the other things that I absolutely love about Commissions Inc. that we started using, right on there, when somebody comes in as a potential buyer lead, you can actually send them an app. It'll actually send them an app through email where they can jump on and download a specific app to their phone to go out and search properties. What's cool is that ties back in to a lead capture to the CRM to show us everything they were looking at, when they were looking at it, what they were engaging in, everything. I mean, there's so many cool things. It does the lead follow-up or creating lead drip campaigns, things like that, based off of the disc profile. So long story short, I'm a huge fan. I think there's a lot of pluses. If you're looking for something that's a lead capture system, a website, you're able to tie in multiple MLSs, which we do. If you're looking for a place to do your blogs, if you're looking for a place to do your video, if you're looking for something that'll you can use in social media, I'm a big fan. It's something that I highly recommend, and I would say depending on who your title company is, if you don't know, Tycor Title kind of bought them out, so we've been leveraging our title rep to actually assist us with training and everything else. So that's what I would say. That's my take on Commissions Inc. If you have any other questions, hit me up. As usual, like, share, comment. Check out my YouTube page. Check out my Facebook page. YouTube, you can go ahead and type in the Real Estate Blitz. You can also type in my name, Chris McCullough, or KSA Kris, and you'll find me. On Facebook, it's Real Estate Blitz, same thing. And like, share, comment. Appreciate it. Have a good one. We'll talk to you all soon.